Every time you open an app, tap a button, or scroll through a website, something invisible is working behind the scenes. But here is the crazy part: what you see and what actually makes it work are two completely different worlds. And if you don't understand this, you don't understand how the internet really works. Today, I'll show you simply, visually, and in a way you never forget. Front end versus back end. Let's start with a simple idea. Imagine you walk into a restaurant, you see the waiter, you see the menu, you see the food served beautifully. That is the front end. But what you don't see, the kitchen, the chefs, the ingredient being prepared, that is the back end. Now translate that to apps and websites. When you open Instagram, TikTok, or any app, buttons, images, text, animations, that's front end. But when you log in, post something, load content, there's a hidden system doing all the heavy lifting. That's the back end. Simple definition: front end is equals what users see and interact with. Back end is equals what makes everything actually work. Let's zoom into the front end. This is the part users touch. Everything visuals comes from here. Think of front end as the face of your app, the design, the experience. What does front end do? Front end is responsible for layouts, where things are placed, colors and designs, buttons and interactions, animations and transitions, responsiveness, mobile versus desktop. Tools used in front end: the main trio, HTML, structured like skeleton, CSS for design like clothes, JavaScript for behaviors like brain. Example: when you click a like button, front end immediately changes the icon, shows animation, updates the number, sometimes instantly. But here is the twist: it might look instant, but it still needs the back end to confirm it. Important idea: front end is fast and visual, but it often depends on back end to be real. Now let's talk about the back end. This is where the magic happens. Think of back end as the brain, the engine, the invisible worker. What does back end do? Back end handles storing data, which is the database, processing logic, authentication, login / sign up, sending data to front end, connecting everything together. Backend tools. Common ones include Node.js, Python, PHP, Java. And for databases, MySQL, MongoDB, PostgreSQL. Example: when you log into an app, here is what really happens. 1. You type your username plus password. 2. Front end sends it to the back end. 3. Back end checks database. 4. If correct, it says access granted. If wrong, it says error message. All of this happens in milliseconds and you don't even see it. Now, the most important part: how do front end and back end communicate? This is where APIs come in. API is equals application programming interface. Think of API like a waiter. You, who is the front end, place an order. Waiter, which is the API, takes it to the kitchen. Kitchen is the back end, prepares it, and waiter brings it back. Real flow: user clicks button, front end sends request, back end processes it, back end sends response, front end update user interface. Example: loading a profile. 1. You open profile page. 2. Front end requests user data. 3. Back end fetches from database. 4. Sends it back. 5. Front end displays it. This entire cycle happens in seconds. Let's break down a real app. Imagine Instagram. When you open the app, front end shows feed layouts, displays images, handles scrolling. Back end fetches posts, decide what to show, loads users data. When you like a post, front end instantly show liked icon. Back end saves like in database, updates like count. When you post, front end upload user interface, preview image. Back end stores image, saves caption, distributes post. Everything you see equals front end. Everything that works equals back end. Now, the big question, should you learn front end or back end? Choose front end if you like, designing interfaces, visual creativity, immediate results, user experience. Choose back end if you like, logic and problem solving, working with data, building systems, security and performance. Or learn both, that's called full stack developer, someone who can build what users see and what powers it. Let's simplify everything into one idea. Front end is equals the part you see. Back end equals the part you don't see. Front end equals design plus interaction. Back end equals logic plus data. Front end asks, back end answers. That's how every app in the world works. Now you understand something most people don't. You don't just use apps anymore, you understand how they work. If these made things click for you, hit like, subscribe for more simple tech breakdowns, and comment front end or back end. Which one are you choosing? And if you want, I can show you how to start learning either one step by step. If you delete Instagram, which part disappears? Front end or back end?